Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Earth Rising, where we talk about stuff you want to hear. And so I am Michele Ambergy. I am the awakener, one of many, and you guys all are too, because it's not about awakening others. It's about awakening ourselves. And so I am super happy to be here. And with my co-hostess with the mostest, Sharon, we have so much fun, and every single time we get ready to do a show, which is every week, we have these conversations before we get started. And they were like, oh my God, we should have been recording that. So today is another one of those days. So I think we're going to go back through what we've been talking about because it's good stuff. What do you think, Sharon?
Yeah, we've been talking for an hour without the recorder going. So
I don't know why we do that. We do it every single time, but that's okay. It's pre-show.
It's the pre-show. It gets us warmed up, I guess. Yeah, but we have their pyramids behind us because we're going to be talking about Thoth.
Tehuti goes by many names.
Yeah, Kukulkan, who's the other one? Anyway,
I can't say
the guy in Mexico.
Something.
Kuchikote.
Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah. So anyway, that's according to some people, but yes, we got some good stuff we want to talk about. We're going to talk about chakras and some how he talks about in his emerald tablets how important the chakras are.
Yeah.
And again, our audience is very smart and knows this, but we forget sometimes that how important keeping our chakras spinning and healthy, because that's where we process life through our chakras, right?
And light and energy and everything.
Yeah. And we hold things in our chakras.
Absolutely, because we pull it in and we send it out.
Right.
It affects the health of our body. It affects our mental health, our emotional health, our spiritual health. It's our little turbine engines.
Yes. And I have an experience to share real quick. I don't know if I shared this on this show yet. There was during my quickening, my spontaneous Kundalini awakening, where I was remembering past lives, right? And I had a lifetime where I remembered in the Civil War. My name was Prudence. And I died and my children died because my brother, who went off to Civil War, brought the plague back, the scarlet fever, whatever it is, to the family. He went AWOL from the war, unfortunately. And so that part of me got stuck, and I was working on retrieving her. She was a really tough one. I was dreaming about a little boy looking for his mother in my dreams, only I didn't put two and two together. I kept dreaming about him.
Oh, yeah.
I can't find my mommy. I can't find my mommy. And so one night during deep meditation, I went to bed. After the meditation, I went to bed. And before I even barely hit the pillow, the room changed and the roof of my room disappears. I can't describe it, but a beam of light comes shooting down, golden yellow light comes shooting down. It hits me in my solar plexus. And I hear this angelic music as well. I forgot when this ceiling disappeared. Everything disappeared. The roof, the ceiling disappeared. And I see this light. I hear this angelic, heavenly type of music, this really high vibrational music singing. And when that light hit my solar plexus, a little boy in the fetal position rises up out of my solar plexus into this light. And I see all this beautiful light glistening around him. And I get emotional talking about. And he's going up in this light, going up into the light. And then he disappears. And when he disappears, I hear this really loud booming voice. It is done. Ooh. And the roof and the ceiling close, and I'm back in my room. I mean, everything's like it was. And I realized that that was my son from that lifetime. He was 3 years old. His name was Rye.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and he was looking for me and I was looking for him. And he had, I was lost. I was needed retrieving. And
Wow.
that was, so that was very profound for me because I realized I was holding him in my solar plexus chakra.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
We
that
hold a
experience.
lot of other people in the 3 lower chakras.
Mm,
It's
yeah,
really important to get those 3. Well, and you know what's happening too is a lot of people are doing a lot of spiritual practices, heart-centered spiritual practices, and they're opening here,
yeah,
but they're not taking care of the lower chakras like they should. And these all are part of the process.
right.
I have people come to me all the time saying, how do I open my 3rd eye chakra? And it's like, well, by taking care of all the chakras. Because a lot of people think, oh, if this chakra is open, I'll know everything. I'll
Mhm,
have all understanding. It's like, that is not how it works. The chakra health is equivalent to the health of your entire existence.
mhm,
And they really are spinning wheels of light. The Eastern traditions have taught about it for a long, long time. They do it. It's a daily practice. You do your meditation, you clear your chakras, you tone a little bit, but you have
right.
some information about that.
Mhm,
And to clear those out, because it's the sound is so important.
yeah.
The sound is so important too.
Yeah, that was one of the first things that my guides taught me 20 years ago was the toning every day to
Mhm.
imagine spinning light, the colors of the rainbow through my 7 major chakras
Yep.
and tone with them, the
Yep.
Lan, Bam, Ram,
Oh, yeah. And
Yam,
yeah, those are the
Tam,
Eastern ones.
and Om and Ah for all the chakras. And I mean, I was clear as a bell when I was doing that on a regular basis. I would do it every day during my meditation.
Yeah.
And so I have to remind myself now, but I also do it in classes, do it in courses and stuff like that. But it's so important. And I see these as little portals. These are portals, right? They're portals
Absolutely.
to our um our non-physical self, our multidimensional selves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So this is how we're processing. This is how we're bringing in that energy
Yeah.
from the higher planes through our chakras, through our energy centers,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. And the 3 lower chakras are related more, not
Mhm.
completely, but to life in the 3rd dimension,
Physical. Uh-huh.
to how you get your food and make your living and drive your car and have relationships and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of times people get into the spiritual thing, guilty,
Oh yeah.
I'm all about opening this, forget this stuff. Well, I end up getting really sick. I'm
Mm.
still, I'm still recovering from the effects of that, with
Wow.
having hip problems and lower back problems. And, it's amazing when you neglect any of it. It is a full system. It's like you cannot run your car on 2 pistons. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you need to have good gas in your car too.
Good fuel.
Good
Totally.
fuel.
Yeah, we can't run our vehicles, our avatar bodies, I guess is another way to
Yeah.
put it.
Yeah.
Can't run them on crappy fuel
No.
very efficiently. So
Yeah. And what
yeah.
we do here affects all of our other multidimensional selves too.
Hmm.
Because we are such great grand beings that I just heard God himself, herself couldn't fit in this little body,
Right.
right? So we're fractals. We're all fractals of that one God, right? And so there's like a bazillion of us out there. And each one of us is so important to take care of the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, multidimensional.
Hmm.
And when we take care of our chakras, that's huge because that's the energy part of it. And using toning, like you're talking about, Sharon, is the energy part of it, right? Because it goes light, sound, form, right?
Right.
That is creation, light, sound, form. And so using toning and using the tools that we have to clear the chakras out, understanding that they're supposed to spin. That's another thing. I've been teaching chakra stuff for a long time, and someone asked me one time something about, and this has been about 15 years ago, but what do the chakras do? And I went, well, they spin. Oh, I never do that. I never knew that. And I was kind of like, I never thought to like tell them they're spinning wheels. I thought everybody knew that, right? And the spinning wheels are depicted, and Sharon's got some stuff. Matter of fact, show that picture. Can we show that picture that you had?
Which picture?
The one with the in Egypt, the whistling dudes and the guy on the box.
Yeah. Okay. Keep talking while I find it.
Yeah. And that spinning
for levitation,
an electromagnetic field that creates that help. There we go.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's that top, what we would look at, that top picture there, that wheel there, you can see that there's pictures in there that kind of look like they might be propellers, and in a way they are, but also it's the depiction of that spinning. And when you look at that, you realize that we see these circles with these depictions of what look like kind of propellers in churches and cathedrals and all the ancient buildings that were actually resonators for energy. That's why they're built on ley lines, they're built on vortexes, and they were healing centers. They usually had bells or great music. They had the spinning vortexes, and you went to church or into these buildings and they healed you, right? The bells, those great bells, they were all taken down 150 years ago or so, because that was healing. You being in that, those bells would resonate throughout the world, or your town or whatever, and they would be healing. They would create frequencies, and the tones of the bells started getting changed too, because instead of being a pure tone, they started muffling the tones. They started changing the tones, and then they took the bells out altogether. Why would they take the bells out?
Because that was after another reset.
Yep, exactly.
In the 1800s, we had a reset.
Yep. And it was when the whole Tartarian thing collapsed, which they were getting free energy, and then in came bleep. It came the Roth McGurkins.
The Roth McGurkins, yeah.
And started changing everything.
Yeah. It's also the chakras are they are connected to our glandular system.
Yep.
So it's more than
all
just
systems.
Yeah, it's more than just a portal or a wheel. It's our glands are affected by how our life. Our glands are affected by our decisions, our thoughts, our life, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And so our chakras process all that, process our thoughts, our energies.
And we clear and balance it by tones.
By tones.
By singing, by music.
We are music. That's what we're talking about too, is we are music. We are sound frequency. So if we're not clear, we're not playing a very resonant, very nice song. Might think of think of a song that just really does not resonate with you. You're like, whoa, no, turn that off. Well, if your chakras aren't clear, then that's, you're not resonating or putting out a very clear sound, musical notes. So everyone has a frequency, and that's sound, and that's light and sound, like you were saying, Michele.
Absolutely. That is creation.
We are our song. We are music. We're walking music.
I just saw recently that they said architecture is frozen music.
Nice.
We're temples. We are architecture too. Like, and you're saying that, the chakras are connected to our
glandular system,
but it's connected to everything.
Right.
Our bones are hollow. And when we tone, when we speak, when we have music around us, our very bones are resonating with whatever that is.
Right.
Do you have healthy bones? If you don't, you need to kick up the frequency of what you're bringing into your life. You need to start speaking high frequency, and toning would be,
Yeah.
and it's a lost art. It's another one of those things that, we were told that it's of the devil or whatever the story was, and
Witchcraft.
everybody should be toning now. And there's different ways to do it. The book that Sharon's been reading, which is so good, that is the Emerald Tablets.
Emerald tablets.
The
Yeah.
book about the Emerald Tablets in Thoth has certain words to do for each of the chakras. There's also Lam, Van, On, those ones that come through. There's also when I took my vocal toning certification, there are other ones that are oo, o, a, e, and you do them, and it's not always about sounding pretty when you're doing
No.
it. It's
Mm-mm.
bringing the vibration of the what seems to be the word, but the word holds an intention and a tone to it, and bringing that in there. And like, if you start just bringing your attention to your root chakra,
Mm-hmm.
and just start going, oh, all of a sudden your root chakra is getting a little tingly.
Yeah.
But it's helping. And the same thing with these ones that is in the Emerald Tablets and the Lamban.
Yeah. Let me read that real
Eastern
quick.
cultures. Yeah. It's
I
so cool. We've got to start bringing this back. And it's funny, I've been trying to get like toning circles together, or come on people, let's start doing this. And they're like, that sounds great. And then set it up, and people are like, oh, well, I gotta do stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, this is going to save your butt. It is going to make you healthy. It is going to make your brain function. It's going to get your body in line. It's going to get your spiritual frequency up. And we need to be doing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
Energy is really heavy.
With what's going on. Another good way of toning is laughter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Laughter is the best toning.
In fact, thank you for saying that, because it reminds me, I woke up in the middle of the night, and it's getting to be a regular thing. And
well, we're supposed to.
I know, but I'm tired.
Did you hear about the 4-2-4 sleep cycles? Yep. The old 4-2-4 sleep. Yep. Yeah, where we were supposed to be sleeping.
that actually was told to me by my inner guidance, that is why I'm sleeping the way I am. But I'm like, come on. But I was told, what were we talking about? It was important.
Singing, laughing. Yeah.
Told to actually record like a 2-minute, 3-minute, 4-minute recording of just laughing.
Nice.
And to put it like, because I'm starting a Patreon. It's called Meditation Station. Yay. And it's gonna be all meditations and affirmations, all kinds of stuff. But to put that up there, and I was like, as much as I would enjoy that, because I love to laugh, I'm like, people are gonna think I'm nuts.
Well,
but you want to know what?
Don't they already think we're nuts? Okay. Do it.
Good point.
Do it. You got to be nuts in this world these days, right? We have to be nuts to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Oh my God. Maybe
I remember
both of us laughing, because you and I get each other going and start laughing.
We do, and then we can't breathe. I remember talking to my galactic parents and saying, I would like to go to Earth. I hear Earth calling for help. And they're like, are you sure? Yes. I can handle it.
It's like, Mom, I know what I'm doing.
I know. And then I'm here for a long time. And I'm like, what was I thinking? But it's good. So this is some of the Emerald Tablets. This is in tablet number, if you don't know about the Emerald Tablets, highly suggest. This is Emerald Tablet number 6. And he talks about the 7 chakras. There are 7 lords, and it's translated as the chakras. And he says, by their names, I call them to aid me, free me, and save me from the darkness of night. And these are the names. And see if they resonate with you. Okay.
And which chakra are they for? Do we start the root or the crown? Does it say?
It doesn't say.
Ooh,
I guess we could see how they feel.
that's interesting.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, he probably left it up to us.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Thoth.
All right, Thoth. Untanas, Quertas, Chietal, Goyana, Huertal, Sembeta, Ardal. And he says, by their names, I implore thee, free me from darkness and fill me with light. And he says, see ye not that the names have the power to free by vibration the fetters that bind? He's asking that question. Can you see that they have the power to free by vibration anything that binds?
Yeah.
Use them at need to free thou thine brother, so that he too may come forth from the night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is. And there was somewhere in there too, when you were sharing that with me, is they were saying to say it over and over, right?
Yeah.
So you would do, what is it? Untanas.
Untanas.
Untana. Untanas. Untanas. Whatever that is, whatever feels right for you, because that is that singing. So that's
Right.
that's amping up the frequency on that too.
Yeah, it says these names are not the names of people. They are frequencies that when spoken aloud, send out specific vibrational frequencies that have a direct effect on our brain, which in turn have an effect on your personal reality tunnel.
Yeah.
Thoth instructs that you are to use this technique as needed, meaning that there is not a permanent, long-lasting effect, but that the effect may be temporary, may need to be repeated as needed. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then today we all need to be doing this stuff daily.
Daily,
And
definitely.
especially if you're out there in the world and you're going, you're doing the 9 to 5 or job, and it needs to be done every day. And it's so exciting how many people are doing spiritual practices now. I ran into an old school buddy, and he's like some big financial guy, and just talking to him, and I didn't even bring up anything about what I do. And they started talking about, learning yoga, and learned about Yogananda, Paramahansa Yogananda, and doing drum circles. And he bought his crystal bowl. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. And finally I broke, and I'm like, well, let me tell you what I do. It was a little much for him, but it was,
wow.
because I start going off, on the tangents that you and I do. But he's doing it,
Good.
And so that frequency, he's raising that frequency, and then he's taking it out into these places where people are working, because we carry those frequencies in us, right? When we do it, it's not like we're just doing it here. We become that frequency. We're like a ringing bell. Oh, it's part of the hollow bone thing.
Yeah.
Your bones ring, they don't just go ba-ding. They like constant ringing. They're like bells.
Yeah, and our head is like a drum, isn't it? Our skull.
Lots of empty space in there.
What are you talking about?
What? That's why we can make beautiful music from all the holes in our head. All that empty space makes beautiful music.
A lot of room for the vibrations to go. Yeah. Bounce off each other.
I used to sing. I used to sing in my church. I was in the choir and a song leader and all that stuff. And I've always loved to sing. And I've had people tell me, please don't sing. You are horrible at it. And so it kind of shut me off for a little bit. And it was very hurtful, because I grew up in a family that was in the music industry. I was like, oh crap, you mean I can't sing? But
yeah,
I met this, I was in the church, and I always wanted to sing, and I sing even though, but not like I wanted to. And, I went to her and I said, I really want to be in the choir, but I've been told my voice isn't that great. And she goes, everybody's voice is great. You just need to learn how to use the instrument. Everybody's instrument is different. Maybe you have a violin, maybe it's clarinet, maybe it's a bass drum. Who knows? Let's learn how to do it and how to tune it and tone it and use it. And it took like, I don't know, 3 times with her. And I'm a song leader in a church.
Nice. See? Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. And we can
Everyone
all
can
do
sing.
it.
We can.
Yeah.
We can. So another thing that Michele and I were talking about was Enlil and Enki in this Anunnaki.
Beep.
Yeah. Are we going to get kicked off of YouTube for talking about the Anunnaki?
We might. We were talking about Sharon and I were talking about that we're so excited because we're like tiptoeing into some of this stuff that gets a little ooh.
Yeah.
And so you guys might find us on Rumble. We're tossing around.
Right.
Because we want to talk about stuff we want to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. And the Enki and Enlil stuff is very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know there's a lot out there about Enki and Enlil. Apparently, and I'm following Billy Carson's research right now. And so I've known about them for a while. I've known about them for thousands and thousands or millions of years.
I know,
but it's just now coming back to mind. They're coming back to mind. Oh yeah, those guys. That's why we're here. Yeah. And so
it's true. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So Enki is the good guy, and Lil is the not so good guy. He's the one who wanted to keep us as slaves and has done a good job at it. And how Billy Carson was talking about, and I thought this was really, really interesting, that when they came to the planet, of course, the people here, there were Homo sapiens on the planet, and they took some of the Homo sapiens and made them Homo sapien sapien. And actually, he was talking about things in the Bible too, that maybe the Old Testament God in the Bible was actually Enlil, or AKA Satan, because the God in the Old Testament was not very nice.
The vengeful God. It even says in there, my God is a vengeful God.
But in the beginning, it talks about how they say how the God is, all knowing, all seeing, omnipotent, omniscient. Yeah. And a kind and loving God. But yet you can take people as slaves, you can murder people, you can kill people in his name and things like that. Have sacrifices,
and sacrifice animals and people and children and blood everywhere.
Yeah, apparently, and his research has brought him to the conclusion that, and it makes a lot of sense to me, Enlil ruled the planet. He wanted slaves. They created slaves to do the labor because they didn't want to do the labor to mine the planet, because this planet, it has so much to give, so many resources. It's just such an amazing planet. Enki, whose name was Ea, so Earth was apparently named after Enki.
Earth. Yeah.
I
remember hearing that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Forgot that one.
Yeah. And Enlil didn't notice that the people that they had created were starting to think for themselves. And whenever they would, he would kill them. He'd send soldiers out to kill them, create plagues. if he saw that cities were becoming too open-minded or thinking for themselves, if there was dense populations, then he didn't like how they were acting, if they're acting up or anything like that, causing problems. They would spray the skies and starve and kill the crops,
Poison the
starve
food.
starve out the people, send
Probably
plagues.
hurricanes and earthquakes and that kind of stuff too. They had
Sure.
technology.
They had, yeah, apparently they had, and he believes that they had satellites in the sky, looking over everything. I mean, these beings were not gods. They presented themselves as gods, but they were just technologically advanced,
Exactly.
like we've come to be, except even more, millions of years ahead of us. So because people would depict them with a glass pad or a crystal pad or something like that, and say, that he used that to, and could see everything all over the planet, everywhere.
And it was just like an iPhone.
Omnipotent. Yeah, I know, right? Like an iPad, and connected to satellites that they had put up in the sky. So he's omnipotent, omnipresent, sees everything, knows everything, because he's got satellites and he's got an iPad.
And a
right?
spaceship in the garage.
And a spaceship in the garage. Yeah. So we were talking earlier about how, boy, doesn't that sound familiar?
It's really familiar.
Yeah. So
We're
nothing's really
awakening.
changed.
We're starting to get, it's like we've got our magical tool now that we can communicate. We're connected to satellites. We can talk to each other. And all of a sudden they're going, oh, crap. Sensor,
Yeah.
delete. You're out of here. Let's spray the bugs a little bit, throw some crap on their food, experiment on them a little bit.
Spray the skies. Yeah. Give them
psychopath.
I know.
Don't get me started, man. I saw that. It was like, pinch your head off. No names.
No names. No. Do you know who we're talking about? I'm sure. But yeah, so it's very interesting because these people, they've been depicted as gods, and they're human just like us, just more advanced. And we have apparently, and it doesn't surprise me, I was 20 years ago when I was waking up to this, I was a freaking mess.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. We have been, because, when you're in those higher frequencies, you think of everyone as everyone, because we're all one. And so I was seeing all humanity enslaved here for a very, very, very long time. Yeah. Talk about putting you in the funny farm. And it did for a week.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah, absolutely it would. And it's even the whole thing with this whole reincarnation thing.
Yeah.
It's just because the stargates have been closed. Right? It's like, it's not because we're bad.
No.
It's not because you killed your brother 18 lifetimes ago, so you got to burn off that karma, you sinner. Screw that. They broke the stargate so that we can't ascend.
Yeah.
But we're fixing them now.
Right.
Don't tell anyone. But they're getting fixed now because we've grown.
Yeah.
We've grown.
We have that
and one of the tools that has helped us, they gave us somebody, Steve Jobs, somebody gave us the technology.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah. It's been, we get downloads every once in a while, for sure. And they really are downloads. Yeah. There's nothing new. We've been doing this for a very long time. Yeah. And so it's gotten to the point now, as we move up in frequency, where that information is coming through, can come through, because we're not, because we're waking up and our frequencies are raising.
And as we do that, we create our own reality, right? So, when we get to the point where the Stargate's being broken, doesn't make a difference because we got a plan B.
Right.
We're just going to vibrate right on out of here. We don't need to use their technology.
Yeah.
Hear what I just said. We don't need to use their technology anymore. We have our own technology.
Right.
We have our own divine plates and divine geometry that's a part of our DNA, and our DNA is healing and it's coming back online.
Yes, it's so exciting.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you hear the pounding? They're working on the deck here.
No, and it's interesting because
Good.
I was going to ask you if you can hear the saws because the guys are sawing outside. New technologies being built even as we're speaking.
Yes, on both sides of the equation here. All the way from Egypt too.
All the way from Egypt. And it's so funny as I'm sitting here, I'm seeing this beam of light coming in the top of my head.
I know, I love it.
One of my antennas.
Speaking of beam of light, we didn't talk about this in the pre-show, but recently, not that long ago, a couple days ago, 3-4 days ago, I was had a really cool experience. I'm waking up, in that in between that alpha state where you're awake, but you're just coming out of sleep. And I hear, and I'm in still in the second body, and I hear someone moving around in the room. I can hear that. And I'm thinking, oh, it must be one of the cats. But I'm just kind of, that's strange. What is the cat doing? It must be one of the cats. That's what I'm thinking. And there's this bright light. My eyes are closed. There's this bright light. And I'm thinking, God, is that my partner? Did he just get up and turn the light on without saying anything? Because usually he tells me if he's going to turn the light on, right? And I open my eyes. He's in bed next to me. It's still dark. There's nobody around, no cats in the room. So I'm back in this body. And I'm like, that was really strange. It's happened to me a couple times, but it made me think of, I've had 4 experiences where in an out-of-body experience, a couple of out-of-body experiences, and also very clear experience, which happened last year, I think, where I'm in that second body state. And I see these, I may have told you this, but I see these long light-filled fingers in front of my face. And he says to me, and he says to me, you're moving from the land of the dead into the land of the light. And he touches my brow with these 2 fingers right here. Which kind of freaked me out. I was running so much light through my body for like 3 or 4 days after that.
Yeah.
It was I couldn't eat. I was it was which is fine for a while, for a couple days, but
not too long.
Yeah, really. But I was running so much light.
Yeah.
And then before that, there was another experience. I had an out-of-body experience where I'm talking to my guide, and I'm going to go do something in the out-of-body experience, and he touches me on my brow before I go. In a meditation around that same time, so I'm wide awake, I'm in my meditation, I'm kind of deep, and I see an angelic being. This being is human with wings, come down, and my thought is Archangel Michael, touch me on my brow.
Yeah.
Another out-of-body experience I had a few months before that, where I'm in a ship, and when we land, after we land, I'm sitting down, and some of the beings that are in charge of the ship, it's like a small shuttle ship. A lion being stands up and kisses me right here.
Lyrans, yeah.
Yeah, Syrian. And I could feel the whiskers and feel what his lips felt like as a cat.
His furry little lips.
So I'm wondering if that light in my room the other day had something to do with that.
Was that Sunday by chance?
What's today?
Thursday.
It could have been.
Because
I'd have to
I
look
had
at
an
my journal.
experience. Because
Really?
I tried to do the out of body experience and I can do it, but I have inner body experiences
Well,
where like I
they're
travel
all
and
inner
journey
body.
inner, right. And mine just feels so much like I go inside, not out. And it's just a different way of looking at it, same thing.
Well, it's
But I had, was it Sunday? Oop, she blinked out. She glitched the system. So I'm going to share with you guys. I had an experience where I had light inside my body just go off. And it got really, really bright inside my body. And so that was kind of interesting too. That same sort of thing. That's why I was wondering with Sharon if it was on that same day, because this week has been really interesting. We're recording this on September 29th, and really since the beginning of this week, been a lot of intense energies. We also had that crazy hurricane down in Florida that was quite unique and interesting as well. And especially that hurricane went over one of the major stargates here on the planet in Sarasota. And so that's kind of interesting, that kind of stuff. It seems so scary, but it could be a planetary clearing or something as well. And so I was wondering if maybe that bright light was clearing and expanding consciousness, not probably just within Sharon or just within I, but probably as a whole, because we're all connected. We're all connected in here together. So let's see if Sharon's going to come back. Are you there, Sharon? No, she's not. So let's see if she comes back on. So something else I wanted to share with you guys, we're talking about the chakras, and we're talking about how important all of that is. And it really, really is. And I would love to almost like inspire you guys to try to take 5 minutes every day and just do some clearing of your chakras. And I'm going to share with you something that I do, that I learned from the wonderful Wayne Perry. And he is a sound healer teacher, and he's really, really good. So there's certain tones that you use for there is certain sounds, so not necessarily tones or notes, but there's sounds that you use for each of the chakras. And so I'm going to share them with you here. You guys can write them down if you like. And so the root chakra is UH, and you just tone that with just going and you bring your awareness, and it can be, you can do low tone, or you can do whatever feels right for you. Okay, because it doesn't matter the note, it's the vibration, and it's using it and it's doing it out loud. And you bring your awareness to the root chakra, which is right at the pelvic floor. And when you do this, you'll feel the vibration. And so the root chakra is the navel chakra is ooh, ooh. So it's ooh. The solar plexus is oh. And even when you say these words, you can really feel the vibration in those areas. And if you're not feeling it, I've been doing this a lot, so I'm a little more attuned to it. But you feeling that and just be oh. The heart is ah. You know how when you see something wonderful, you just go ah. That's a natural sound coming out of the heart. It's like all of these sounds are. So the heart is ah. And the throat is A-Y. A. And you can feel that in there. And when you're saying it, you're kind of open here, right? And so it's your ears and your throat. A. And the third eye is E. And you'll notice I'm not on key. I'm not using a particular note. I'm not trying to hit a note. I'm trying to make the sound. E. Keep it open. E. And then the crown chakra is E again. E. E. And you can do a clearing on your chakras simply by going, ooh, oh, hey, just like that. Or you can do, ooh, hey. That's another one. That's a tone that Wayne Perry uses that is really, really cool. And you can do that simply. One way to just clear your chakras. You notice how we're not going up, the note scale, but you can. If you have a piano, if you have a guitar, if you have an instrument that you can follow through the whole octave and do the whole 7 notes, do it. It's so powerful. And what'll happen is you'll find that as you move through, as you keep going through, that you begin to feel better. Your brain begins to clear. You begin to have more energy. You are doing better. And Sharon's calling me. So let's see what she has to say. Hi there.
That was weird.
I know, and we're still on. I just taught him how to do a chakra clearing.
Oh, we're still on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because my computer totally shut down.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm still on, and now you're on with me. So Sharon Sananda, Sharon Kumar Sananda, thank you for coming on the show. So I think, excuse me.
Yeah.
I've been doing a little toning with everybody. Now my throat is being cuckoo. Yep, there's an energy, a funky energy going on too. So
yeah, there is.
Thank you for calling me. And this is really, really good. And I think I'm going to say goodbye on the show, and we'll call it a done deal, and we'll see what happens. Take a look at it. What do you think?
Okay, well, I was thinking we could, I mean, I can edit it out,
Okay.
whatever we need to edit, and we
Sure.
can finish it up maybe tomorrow or something.
Sure.
Do
Sure.
you have
That
time
works.
tomorrow?
I do. I have later in the day, like around 4.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. I will sign off with the
Okay.
peeps, and we can actually edit this part out or whatever.
Yeah, or see what we can do. Yeah. Okay, so let's do that. 'Cause
Okay, cool.
my computer's taking a while to come back up, and oh, what the heck happened?
Oh, we get tapping into energies that go wee.
Yeah, I've been having internet trouble lately, and now computer trouble. So yeah.
Yep. I love it. It means we're hitting energies that need straightening up, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Okay, honey, I will see you tomorrow then.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All righty. That was Sharon Sananda there, the co-hostess with the Momostess. And so we're going to sign off. We're going to finish this a little bit later, and I'm sure it's going to get edited. So we'll find out what you actually get to see. So on that note, I hope everybody has a great day. I love you all, and we'll see you next time. Mwah.